Henry, you look a little blue minus the ridiculous shades that you're wearing. What's been going on, man?
Oh, not much. Haven't watched any football today. Nothing major. What's up with you?
For those that aren't familiar, Henry is a diehard The Ohio State Buckeyes football fan.
All sports.
Yes, specifically today, he's mourning the loss from the game, which I found out was called The Game.
It's called The Game.
Yeah.
And we also said we weren't going to fucking talk about this. Podcast is over.
I guess I'm doing this one on my own, folks.
Anyway, this episode of the One More Time Show is sponsored by Diet Dr. Pepper. 23 flavors. Actually, I wonder if there's 23 in the diet version. Do you think they had to take
There's probably like at least one less flavor.
They had to take a couple of them out for the
like
diet.
20
right?
flavors, I would guess.
A few of the flavors had calories.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Absolutely. Hey, who's our contact over at DDP?
DDP. Ellen has been very kind. She's sending the mini bottles of DDP, and we appreciate you, Ellen. Keep them coming. Keep the checks cutting. You guys know what it is. One More Time podcast.
So speaking of Ohio, you were telling me that Ohio, I haven't seen this myself personally, but Ohio has been, making its way through the algorithm.
Apparently it's the current meme. I'm not sure how this started, but if you spend any time on TikTok and you look in the comments, there's a joke about Ohio everywhere. I don't know how this started. There's a rumor that it started because all the police records in Ohio are public. There's a law where they have to make everything public. So all the most ridiculous shit that happens immediately becomes like a crazy headline. So Ohio's like the new Florida, if you will.
Wow.
Florida man is turning to Ohio man.
So what are some of the comments?
Just if you see something ridiculous, it'll be like, oh, average day in Ohio, or you might just something ridiculous and it might just literally say Ohio. By itself. It's just known, and it's the top liked comments. It's just the current meme. Who can keep up with the kids these days? I certainly can't.
Definitely not. So what else has been going on this week?
I thought that this was pretty interesting. Iggy Azalea sells her catalog for 8 figures. This is kind of a new thing that's going on with artists. They're deciding to sell their back catalogs, right, for a lump sum up front. How do you feel about that in general?
So it's interesting. What I find most, I guess, intriguing about this whole trend, right, is that they're not selling them to other labels or even their own label. They're selling them to venture capital firms, like these private equity suits that arguably probably have no idea even, I don't know what to do with the catalog, but it's clearly just it's making X amount of dollars. They're purchasing it for a lump sum that they think that they're going to get a significant return on the investment, right? I mean, it's just like any other business, I feel like.
It's an investment.
Yeah, and it's just bizarre to me that it is going to these once again, people in suits that are, investment firms or whatever, right? It just seems odd. I don't know.
Do you think these guys are turning around and trying to promote the music or helping her promote anything? Or are they just passive investors hoping that Iggy's catalog is just going to do numbers in the future?
I think they're clearly running some sort of numbers, right? And just saying, hey, here's how much we have to pay. Here's what it's been doing over the last however many years, right? I mean, they're just probably making calculated ROI decisions. I don't know. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I did find it. I doubt they're going to do anything to grow it. Right. I mean, maybe they'll hire a firm to do. I don't know. It's
tough with Iggy for 8 figures. I mean, you're talking about minimum $10 million. Holy shit. I gotta say that's a W for Iggy. Shout
out to Iggy.
Fuck that. You can make new music now. You can continue doing what you're doing. You just made over 10 mil. Selling your songs, I think that's a W. She can do whatever she wants now.
For sure. So, speaking of artists offering up their music for lump sums of money, NBA Youngboy has gone public and said that he's offering up his hard drive full of music and he'll quit rapping. That was, I think, a stipulation in his offer.
I saw this.
For $100 million. Fuck at 8 figures. This dude's going straight to 9 for everything on his hard drive, and he will quit rapping. So maybe some competitor of his, maybe Drake could buy it to just get Youngboy out of the conversation? I don't know.
That's ridiculous. It's a marketing ploy. It's a good one. I think it made for a good headline. It's just another thing getting YB in the headlines, which he's phenomenal at. No one knows what's on the hard drive. No one's stopping him from making a bunch of more music. No one's stopping anything. That's ridiculous.
What if it's empty and someone bit?
I could see there being like 5 songs on there that were his worst songs. He just let it fly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So Saweetie.
Let's talk about Saweetie.
Went on record saying that, women are running rap right now.
And then proceeded to sell 2,000 copies first week.
Yeah. And, what I found most interesting, and this is a tweet by Sunny Digital, was just talking about the math associated with her album sales, right? Saweetie has, I think, like 13 million followers on, I think, just IG, let's take, right?
I think it's combined.
Yeah, okay. Well, and every post of hers arguably gets 6-figure likes, right? So she's got what seems to be like hella engagement on her social media. Sunny was, arguing that the math is just not adding up here. Either it's fake followers and fake engagement, or y'all Saweetie fans out there aren't riding for your girl like you're claiming you're doing in the comments section, right? Go out and fucking listen to the music if you rock with her. I don't know. I mean, what do you think contributed to such a flop?
Just because you follow someone does not mean that you are interested in what they're doing directly, right? You can be a follower. You can think someone's hot. You can think someone is funny, and you can not rock with their music. And this is just like influencers that, gain a huge following first and then decide they want to make music. And then, you're not streaming well because no one gives a fuck about your music. They liked you for other reasons. Not saying that's the case with Saweetie, but looking at the numbers, there's a very big possibility that, people are interested in keeping up with what she's doing, like keeping up with the Kardashians. But if Kim drops an album tomorrow, are you copping it?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, basically there's always this, discussion around like, okay, we need to build followers, right? You need to build followers on social media. You need to convert those followers to fans. And then arguably you want to convert the fans into super fans. That's like the journey of, artists and creatives like acquiring super fans, right?
Yes.
Like that's how you get there. So to your point, a lot of them might just be casual followers.
Yes. And then I thought this was really interesting. Speaking of Saweetie, VladTV tweeted.
Shout out DJ Vlad.
Shout out DJ Vlad.
What a troll.
The troll.
The trolliest of
our generation. Tweeted that Saweetie wouldn't do an interview with him. She replied saying, I would have done an interview with you. Basically saying like, it wasn't me, it was someone on my team. And they linked it all back to her publicist, who was quoted saying, I don't really like DJ Vlad, none of my artists. She doesn't want any of her artists to do Vlad interviews. And then Vlad comes back saying like, here's an interview that she did that Lizzo did with a nobody, got 1,000 views on YouTube. And, what are his interviews are doing,
millions,
$250,000,
for sure.
$500,000, at least 100,000, you know what I'm saying? 100,000, $250,000, no problem. So it's kind of interesting to see that relationship. Like, what if you're an artist and your publicist doesn't approach you with an opportunity? Because Vlad said that if she did the interview, her sales would have 10x'd.
So do you fire the publicist if you're Saweetie?
I think you at least have a talk with her, right?
You sit her down or him. Sit her or him down.
Aisha Williams, maybe?
Okay.
Correct me in the comments.
You definitely sit her down and give her a stern
Because, I don't know if it would have 10x, but you got to believe that a VladTV interview would have upped her sales a little bit, for sure.
Yeah. Vlad is such an arrogant prick, though. But, I love it. I'm here for it, Vlad. I'm here for it. I hope one day I can say to an artist, if you would have just done the One More Time podcast interview, your shit wouldn't have flopped.
Like 10x'd.
I'm waiting for that. I'm yearning for that moment.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
Okay, how about this? I saw a post today about Atlantic Records, and this is nothing new, but it's just kind of come into the light again. Atlantic Records is under fire for their YouTube videos for their artists. You got Don Toliver, you got Uzi, you got A Boogie, you got a lot of people being botted. Bot comments, bot views, fake. and this is nothing new. I believe that all the major labels are doing it. How do you feel about just fake views and fake comments? Like,
Well, I guess my question to you would be like, how much weight does the quantity of views and comments contribute to you who's not a bot watching the video and commenting? Does that contribute to your engagement with the content?
I wouldn't say that a video that has more likes or views or comments has any effect on whether I'm going to watch it or not.
How about the average person? Because we talked about this with the Twitter blue fiasco, right? Is that how much weight that fucking blue check even holds, right? That you're willing to do anything to talk to a blue checker, right? So it's like, if you see X amount of views and X amount of comments, are you going to give the video a chance versus if, the views were significantly less and the comments were significantly less?
I think it's different. I think the blue check would probably like swayed me.
So if YouTube started a blue check thing, that would be the thing that would hook you on the content.
Probably, if I'm just being real. Like, I don't know. I just know that all these major labels are doing that, and I get it. It looks good, and if you have this massive 6-figure budget for marketing, and you can put $5, $10, $25,000 into inflating your numbers to make it look good. Part of this game is perception. A lot of it is fake it till you make it. So I'm not just dismissing that. I think it's whack as hell. I'm going to put that out there. It just sounds
Let the record show Henry
lame,
thinks this is whack as hell.
But I kind of understand it at the same time.
But I would only understand it if their thought process was that this is actually going to convert other real people into real revenue generating people, because their businesses, they're only spending their marketing dollars to get X amount of dollars more than they're spending. I mean, that's how they have to work. They're for-profit businesses. You know what I mean? So they're not just spending it without the thought process that like it's going to come back in multiples, right? Like that's why I was asking you, like, is it impacting you, a real person with real, money to spend, or like, views to like, I guess use, right? Like, that can get them money. Is that like impacting your decision? You know what I mean?
There's more to it than just if it gets more people to watch. For example, an amazing producer or a legendary A&R might see that this artist is doing numbers and hit them up. There's a million ways that could affect it. A blog might reach out and want to do an article on this artist because they see they're doing numbers. Anything can happen. Like, if it looks like someone's doing well, they're going to get more attention.
So you're kind of arguing that the average, even like brand or business, probably isn't doing their due diligence to understand if the engagement and the views are real, right?
How do you do your due diligence? I mean, it's numbers. You kind of have to go by the numbers.
Bot comments, like how good are the bot comments that we're talking about?
They're basically emojis.
So, that's a little bit ambiguous, I guess, right? But
which is the point.
But some of them, like, shit, we've even had guests, I don't want to call anybody out, but like, we've had guests where we did our due diligence afterwards, and, we started to do it before, but it's like, bro, that's not real.
Damn, you got 250,000 followers and you got 6 comments, my guy. What happened there?
Or even if you have 1,000 comments, you look at them and the comments don't even make sense.
Yeah.
Have a beautiful day. This post was like nothing that you would elicit that response, right? I mean, you know who we're talking about. And I mean,
I got one in mind.
Yeah. And so like, I'm just saying, bro, like that's what I think, where you're probably right though, that the average, A&R who's looking to sign a new artist even, right? So like independent artists can also do this. This isn't a privilege of a major label. It's a privilege of having any money to spend with YouTube or like fake bot fucking companies.
It's a financial privilege, because for me that would be way down on the list of where I would be spending my money. I think any artist can make it with no money.
But some of these services are cheap as fuck for these fake views, bro. I've seen the ads of like 1 million views for $10, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm telling you. And if I'm a major label and my marketing budget for a single is $100,000, you believe I'm inflating those fucking numbers a little bit. I'm just saying.
I know, but how much do you think the platforms like are hip to this shit, and that they actually penalize the artist channel for this?
I don't know if they are.
And that's the biggest question, right? Because then your money's literally it's working against you in that sense, right?
I don't know.
If you're hurting the channel because the algorithm like
is it hurting the channel?
That's what I'm proposing, is that if they're hip to this type of activity, then it could, hurt. I mean, because I know on Spotify at least they were getting very hip to like the bot streams. So you would think that like a YouTube would also understand like what comments and views are coming from like real legitimate sources, right? I don't know.
It's tough. Like if you're Spotify and you just see a bunch of streams coming from one, you know, who's to differentiate if it's a real person that just loves this song and is just repeating it over and over versus, you know, a bot. I don't see how you can really figure that out.
There's definitely technologies to do this, but we're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah.
It's way over both of our heads.
Yes.
But I do think that there is like some way to distinguish like what is a legitimate like engagement, right? Due to like, you know, volume and like how quickly they're happening and like where they're coming from and all sorts of shit, right?
For sure.
But it's an interesting thing of like, is this good for... It's also
it's
like,
not good
do the artists know that this is happening? I guess would be my question.
I would think that if I'm the label, I'm trying to make them blissfully ignorant. I think that maybe they have a hunch, but you know, I don't think they're like, hey, we're about to initiate all the fake streams for you. You know, they're not like telling them. You know what I mean?
They're not in on the plan.
No.
They're the last to know.
You give them plausible deniability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So obviously you've heard of Andrew Tate, correct?
Top G.
Top G. Yo.
Who hasn't?
First of all, what are your just like surface level opinions of the guy?
I think he's pretty toxic. I think he has okay points sometimes. But overall,
we're getting canceled.
The dude is pretty toxic. Like I don't think he's a good role model. I think the Hustlers University that he's promoting is probably just promoting more of this toxicity. I don't think he's probably good for society.
Yeah, it's just interesting, right? Because he's a hell of a talker.
He is.
Right?
He's very persuasive.
Yeah.
He'll make you be like, well,
how does he actually make money?
He's a
kickboxer, but was that like he claimed he's worth, you know, whatever he claimed.
He's buying a Bugatti every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus
a $5.2 million one.
Yeah.
But like, that's not enough. Like kickboxing, I mean, even the best kickboxer in the world.
Well,
right?
I think the Hustlers University is doing a huge part of that now.
So is he selling like courses and shit?
Absolutely, bro.
Wow.
His target demographic is what you might call like the incels or, you know what I mean? Like the simps of the world.
So is he the red pill? Is he like red pill religion?
He's super woke and fucking, yeah, all that. Yeah. He takes these people that, you know, feel like, that maybe have like low testosterone or whatever the fuck might be the case.
Just juices them
and he gives them the gas for sure. And they're like, I can fucking do this. But I don't think, and you know, as cool as that is to give these people some hope, I think it's the wrong kind of hope.
Yeah. He raised this point of, you know, anyone that tries to set their mind to something, right? He's all about like, you can do it, like whatever, right? Which in theory I love, but you know, he almost like ignorantly thinks that anyone can be successful. Do you agree or disagree with that at like a very high level, that anyone can be successful?
I do think that it all boils down to mindset. I think if you're able to shift your mind in a certain direction, I think you can do anything. But I don't know if some people maybe aren't able to do that, and some people are. But you know, the theory behind what he's saying with that, I agree with, because yeah, the mind is everything. The brain. If you can hack your brain, I do believe like humans are capable of crazy shit. Yeah. But it all starts up here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess my point was that he almost seems to ignore the, you know, where we start in life, right? Like just the act of, or like the proof of privilege, right? And just, you know, we're speaking from two white male fucking voices, which like arguably is, and he is as well.
He's English, which is even like more white.
The most privileged like position you can take.
The whitest.
For the most part. Once again, there's clearly white males that come from no privilege, but like,
but it doesn't get whiter than England.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
But that's really what it is for me, right? Is that I guess it really depends on how you define success, though, right? Because if your definition of success is that you can literally do anything, I don't know if I don't know. The like optimist in me wants to buy into that shit, But at the same time, I do think there are physical limitations. There are, socioeconomic limitations to people. So I guess it really depends on like definitions of success. But then there are people who defy all odds. And to your point, they're humans that achieve some just ridiculous shit where you're like,
how did that
happen?
Yeah.
All the odds were against them.
Yeah.
And they achieved whatever it is that they, achieved, right?
I think it was up here for sure.
Yeah. So you think the mental is the most important part?
Absolutely.
It's gotta be
100%.
Wow.
Shout out to Top G, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I got one more maybe before we go.
Sure.
Let's talk about Roddy Ricch. He posted a pay stub from.
Is that legal?
It had like the promoter's phone number and shit on there. I don't think so. But obviously you saw what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But for the people that haven't, what happened?
He was paid $500,000 for one performance at a festival. To me, the promoter took a big L right there.
Specifically for Roddy Ricch or specifically any artist that's headlining?
He only posted his stub. So he got $500,000 for one performance at one festival one time.
I know, but you said the promoter took an L. Are you referring specifically to the fact that that $500K went to Roddy Ricch specifically, or are you alleging that anyone being paid that amount of money for a single festival performance is an L?
I mean, Taylor Swift, Adele, maybe Post
so it's
Malone.
Roddy. So it's Roddy.
I love Roddy. I think Roddy's dope. Don't get me wrong.
But it's Roddy.
Bro, you're not getting $500,000 from me for a performance ever. If I had $1 billion in the bank.
Damn.
I just don't think he's at that level. But investors come out with money and they got this and they want something to be successful and they'll go to great lengths. I think you had experiences with this in college.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, me promoting shows. I mean, I didn't ever pay fucking $500,000, obviously, but I was paying artists that, now maybe would have been worth what we paid, but we significantly overpaid. And I mean, that was due to lack of experience, negotiation skills that were lacking. I mean, a whole, slew of factors, right? But Governor's Ball, who was the one that was cited in this, pay stub, I mean, they're experienced promoters. I mean, they've been around for years, decade.
They've been doing it.
Decade plus, right? So this isn't their first rodeo. So I'm always curious, though. I'm like, $500,000. Did Roddy Ricch sell me $500,000 in tickets?
No way.
No chance, right?
I doubt it. I highly doubt
that's
that.
the math that ran through my head is just a straight up analysis of like, did I get my money's worth?
Money out versus money in. I don't think it adds up, my guys. I'm just saying.
Shout out to Roddy, though, just escaping like a bandit. Like,
I'm not mad at Roddy at all.
No.
Hell no.
I'm proud of him.
And maybe we're wrong and the promoters did bank that. We don't know shit either. But from where I'm at, it seems like that was a super L for the promoters trying to just make it work.
Because he's from LA, right?
Yes.
Roddy? So do you think it's a regional thing where like here in Atlanta, maybe we're just not like overly excited about a Roddy Ricch?
Is the Governor's Ball, is that in New York?
It's in New York. So I guess we're closer. I don't know. Like,
to me, it just screams like over eager venture capitalists, all types of money, don't know what to do, just want it to be successful. L.
For sure. I mean, we're getting close to that from Diet Dr. Pepper for every episode, but like they're clearly getting their money's worth. Until next week, this has been the One More Time Show. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time.